I legit feel like I'm gonna throw up. Alright, we have to do this as fast as possible. Well, this whole month has been very busy moving out, getting everything together and situated for this thing that I'm building. You'll find out later. Sooner rather than later. But I think I'll just read my synopsis, or the synopsis, then my review, and my thoughts, and then kind of just keep them pumping. The second movie, or the movie that I saw in the second week of July, is Class Action Park. This was recommended by Cal. If you're watching this, what's up, man? How you doing? Um, this is the synopsis to Class Action Park. Class Action Park explores the legend, legacy, and truth behind the 1980s water park in Vernon, New Jersey, that long entered the realm of myth. Known for its dangerous, unsupervised rides and lack of regulation, guests of Action Park expected to walk away with injuries and were lucky if they made it out alive. Striking Wow. Shirking the trappings of nostalgia, the film uses investigative journalism, original animations, recordings, and interviews with the people who lived it to reveal the true story of Action Park. This is a documentary, and this is probably one of the wildest documentaries I've ever seen. Well, it's shocking. That's it. So this was my review for the movie. 30 minutes of wow, this place is horrible. 30 minutes of Jesus Christ, this place is dangerously fucked, and they have a motorway that was also fucked. Actually, someone died. Wait, scratch that. That's a lot of people died. And then the last 10 minutes is them going, but hell yeah, that was our childhood, and it was fucking sick. Batshit crazy documentary. Dude, oh my god. I think most of you had gone through middle school or high school and had done maybe constructive essays, and there's always that little part in the constructive essay that you've written where you have to argue the point of your other side. Kind of like although they are blah 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 blah, and I can agree with blah 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 blah, I still stand on my side. That is a fair and maybe like a good way of creating a essay, an argumentative essay. That's what it's called. There's nothing to argue about to this place. This place was fucked up. I'll have to just show you clips of the show, but of the movie. But there's a highway, two water park slides. Across the highway, there was a motorway that was completely that wasn't fenced off. All right. Think about it when you go to Boondocks. Boondocks has rails so that the car can go off track, right? This thing didn't, and they served alcohol maybe like in that same area. So all these drunk people who maybe gotten tipsy or maybe just batshit drunk off their minds got into a motorway and drove recklessly. And oh my god, this thing was absolutely insane. Holy hell. You know what? I'll tell you a little scene or a spoiler of this movie. It's a documentary. Is it really a spoiler? There was a family. No, they're probably grandparents now. I think the grandpa popped open a bottle and told his wife, "We're celebrating, baby." The owner and the creator of Action Park died. And I remember the lady saying, that was the first time I have ever felt happy over someone's death. I felt celebrating someone's death. And I'm telling all of you this, that all of this is a very terrible thing. And then at the very end, the last 5, maybe 10 minutes, everybody who they interviewed, who have all been saying, this is a dangerous place. People died. I came out with stitches. I came out with concussions. For them all to just kind of end the movie going, but yeah, that was pretty sick. Fuck that. Trauma is trauma. That shit sounded like it sucked. Fuck. The next movie that I saw was The Rocketeer. An ordinary man forced to become an extraordinary hero. A stunt pilot comes across a prototype jetpack that gives him the ability to fly. However, evil forces of the world also want this jetpack at any cost. I saw this YouTube video on why you should watch a certain movie in black and white. I'll link the video to it. But in this YouTube video, they talked about The Rocketeer and why you should watch The Rocketeer in black and white. And I thought, holy hell, that sounded super cool. And I found it on Hulu if you wanted to watch this. Also, Irving, if you're watching this, what's up, man? I'm glad you're watching. He had commented, dude, I thought this movie was a fever dream. I couldn't remember the name. That big villain guy creeped me out as a kid. What's up, Irving? How you doing? Good to have you. Hell yeah, this movie was insane. This movie was just had baseball vibes, kind of like, not necessarily like Sandlot, but just like, wow, this feels like a very comforting, easy American movie, if that makes sense. But the guy who played the Rocketeer, I could have sworn that was the guy from Trap or Black Hawk Down. And I kept looking at him and thinking like, gosh, this dude looks familiar. The big scary guy that Irving was talking about, hell yeah, that guy was crazy. This dude had a chin like right there, man. And he was like maybe like 6'4", 6'10", who knows. This dude was all muscle. That dude was scary as hell. Hell yeah. Oh, and at the end they fight Nazis. Hell yeah. There was a scene where this like Italian gangster and this like American cop, they're shooting side by side at Nazis, and the cops were originally there for the Italian mob, but that's like spoiler territory. Anywho, they give each other a nod like, yeah, we're fighting Nazis. Fuck Nazis. Bitch ass motherfuckers, man. I swear to God, I see Nazis. I swear in the fucking face. Very fun movie. Super easy to watch. It's not like, oh my god, amazing, this changed my life. No, it's just a really comforting movie. The next movie that I saw was Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. Revenge was never this sweet. A deaf man and his girlfriend resort to desperate measures in order to fund a kidney transplant for his sister. Things go horribly wrong and the situation spirals rapidly into a cycle of violence and revenge. I don't want to talk too much about this movie. This movie is messed up. I'll just read you my review. Absolutely insane. When you think something can go wrong, nothing prepares you for this level of mess up after mess up after mess up. With each drop of blood breeds more vengeance. This movie had me stress the hell out. I literally cannot talk about it without having to reference something beforehand that is completely spoiler territory. I think the only thing that I can mention is this like a mentally handicapped guy in a river who's throwing stones, and this deaf guy can't hear. That is all I can reveal. And everything just completely and chaotically spirals, and there's no stopping it. It is insane. That scene that I'm talking about, I stopped everything what I was doing. I stopped breathing. I was holding on to my breath. I was holding on to my chair, and I just kept looking and hoping that nothing was gonna go wrong. It only goes wrong in this movie. This movie is terrible. I love it. It's scary. It's anxiety inducing. Oh my god. Dude. The next movie that I saw was Lady Vengeance. All she wanted was a peaceful life. They didn't give it. Released after being wrongfully convicted and imprisoned for 13 years, a woman begins executing her elaborate plan of retribution. Oh my god. This is made by the same director. Oh my god, this was absolutely insane again. Revenge is an infectious form of motivation. The transitions from the transition, the color change, the mood change, the horror, the grit, it's all good. So, just if you're watching this, what's up, man? Pop. I showed the beginning, maybe 5 minutes of the movie and how colorful and how vibrant it was, and it all transitioned very evenly, very smoothly, without you hardly noticing. There's a point in the movie where all color is gone, and it is the moment where you are your least human. Again, I can't talk about it because of spoilers and blood, but the amount of color that is gone is equal, if not representatory, of the humanity being slowly taken away. How close you are to doing such a horrible act. Oh my god, dude. If you're a parent who has kids, if you're somebody who takes care of children, don't watch this. This movie will hurt you. This movie will wreck you. But at the same time, you'll understand. You'll understand why she did what she did. And man, it is tough. You know what? Actually, one little thing. It's not necessarily spoiler territory. Even the cop is like, ooh, this is tough. But I agree with you. I think you should do what you're gonna do. Dog, what the fuck? This movie is crazy. Also, if you think that I'm gonna watch Oldboy after watching these previous 2 movies, you're dead wrong. I'm not watching that movie. That movie is fucked. Now, to break the cycle, the next movie that I saw was Superman. Look up. Superman, a journalist in Metropolis, embarks on a journey to reconcile with his Kryptonian heritage with his human upbringing as Clark Kent. I keep having conversations with Lele about differences between Man of Steel Superman and Superman. And I think even differences between the 1978 Clark or Superman. Actually, Cody, if you're watching, hey, we talked about this before, about like how I forgot what exactly we were talking about, but we were talking about Superman, and you had mentioned something about like, if I were Superman, I think I would have destroyed everything and just kind of killed everybody or something like that. And although I agreed with you about having that much power, you can just do whatever the hell you want, I also disagreed and told you, see, but that's the thing. Superman isn't us. Isn't the way. Ooh, the way I said it was like Superman is the best of us. He is perfect, and that's exactly why Superman is Superman. He doesn't have to think about helping people. It's in his instinct. Whatever he does, it's in the name of love for humanity, for his home, for Earth. And I think when you love someone or love something so much, there's almost no question about it. And my debate is that Henry Cavill Superman has to think about saving people and has to kind of will himself to save people. In an extension, he is actively loving something. Don't even get me started again. Think about the scene in Henry Cavill Superman where he gets arrested and he's in jail and they're questioning him. It's like, this isn't for me, this is for their safety. Belittling the human people. They're afraid of me. Belittling the human people. And this is just to hold back my powers. Again, belittling the people. As opposed to like 1978 Superman. It is done with love and care and compassion for the other person. Superman 2025 rescues squirrels, rescues dogs, rescues people. And I think there's a scene, well, no, there is a scene when the Justice Gang, when they're attacking the monster in Metropolis, they throw grenades into the monster's stomach and it explodes, and Superman uses his X-ray and sees the damage that is happening to the monster and is just kind of heartbroken that this monster had to die. And even when the monster falls, he catches it to not hurt anybody, to not disturb anybody, and even like pleads with Guy Richards on Green Lantern and says like, couldn't we have taken it to a intergalactic zoo, something to keep it safe, something to keep it not dead? And Green Lantern's like, what are you gonna do? But that's kind of what I mean. Superman does everything out of the kindness of his heart. And that's what I loved about this movie. I feel like I talked a little too much on that one. The next movie that I saw was Moon. 250,000 miles away from home. The hardest thing to face is yourself. With only 3 weeks left in his 3-year contract, Sam Bell is getting anxious to finally return to Earth. He is the only occupant of a moon-based manufacturing facility, along with his computer and assistant, Gertie. When he has an accident, however, he awakens to find that he is not alone. Evan, if you're watching this, you're the one that recommended this movie. Thank you so much. I had already seen this movie before, so I wasn't too much of a rush to watch it again. Which, thank you, Evan, for recommending me this movie. Sam Rockwell, dude, that dude is good in this movie. Man, this movie is fairly cool. This movie is fun. My review: a slow murmur, a quiet whisper of twists and turns that I think could have been more shocking, but the slow murmur of death didn't feel as scary or important when there was someone else to replace me. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not. Kind of like what I'm saying in my review. This is a quiet burn. It's a slow murmur, kind of like I had just said. So like when shocking things happen, they're still in that murmur font, and it's just okay. It's a very fun movie to watch. The moon exploration, the spacesuits, that's all very cool. And Gertie is so reminiscent of HAL 5000 from A Space Odyssey. And everything kind of feels pretty null, pretty quiet, and only until about the very end, or maybe the last 30 minutes, is where things really kind of pick up. And that's after an hour of watching slow space, quiet murmur. And this movie was pretty fun. That's cool. Alright, I have to be honest with you. When I watch movies, sometimes I'll just pump them bitches out. I'll just watch a movie. As soon as it ends, pop another one in. As soon as that one ends, I'll probably start half of one and finish it the next day and pop another one. By then, I had already seen more movies than I should have. I originally planned for the 200th movie to be this specific movie, a movie that I want to share with you all so lovingly, if that's the right word. So I had debated with myself and with everyone I knew that if I should lie to you just so that I can keep that movie as the 200th movie. But I'm not a liar. Or am I? No, I'm not a liar. The 200th movie that I saw was a Whale Rider. I feel like a dang old dummy, screwing that up for myself, I guess, but like, happy accidents, I guess. In the ways of her ancients, she found a hope for the future, a contemporary story of love, rejection, and triumph as a young Maori girl fights to fulfill a destiny her grandfather refuses to recognize. I saw this when I was around the age of the main character, when my dad reminds me of the granddad, and I could have sworn she died in the end. And in some kind of way, I felt like I needed to die to gain honor or respect. Now watching this again, I see how amazing the little protagonist was acting and how well she showed her struggle to fit in and into her role of leadership. Absolutely amazing. This movie, so kind of like how I said, I was really young when I had first seen this, and I remember the granddad being so mean and so like kind of a dickhead, and in some way that's my dad. I mean, if you've met my dad, he's very friendly, he's very nice, but yeah, he was a very stern dad, he was a strong, strict dad that didn't mess around, which is crazy because now that I work with him, that dude jokes all the time. Like, what the hell? Anywho, that's besides the point. The young girl who plays, what's her name? Pica, the main protagonist. Her name is Keisha Castle Hughes, and the way that she has this look of worry, Like her eyebrows are always in this kind of shape of like, I don't understand why you're doing this to me. I feel uncomfortable that you're challenging me. Why do you feel the need to fight me? Her eyebrows are always in this defensive position, and it brings out the sympathy out of me for her. And in some kind of way, I see all of my siblings in her and how strict and mean my dad was. And I kind of felt like when Pika finally like gets the power, gets her leadership, it's like, yeah, you fucking go, man. And I feel like this is the equivalent of like a horse girl when she finally sees like her horse run, or when she finally like tames that horse and they're like together and free as a unit. I almost feel like that's the same. And you know what, I actually might cut that sounds dumb as hell. Time and time again does Pika prove herself to be worthy of leadership, but the damn old grandpa is so stuck to his fucking traditions and his beliefs that even the grandma is just like done with whatever the grandpa is doing, and just like, honestly, you're clearly being a dickhead right now. I'm not gonna talk to you. And you know what, I'll mention something in the end, not necessarily a spoiler, but or I won't talk about the spoiler parts. Towards the end, the grandmother gives the granddad like a token that is kind of like the last straw of leadership. And when the grandma gives it to the grandpa, and it fucking finally hits him at the end, he asks when he receives the token, you know what, let's say this is the token. When the granddad finally receives the token, this dumbass asks, who got it? And the grandma's like, who do you think? The person that you've been bashing down for months? Like, she was just so appalled that this dangle grandpa was still so headstrong. Oh my god, dude, it was so frustrating. But like finally get some fucking respect in this damn house. This movie was incredible. If you can watch it, please watch it. I saw this on Tubi. Thank you again, Tubi, for providing such awesome movies. Sponsor me. Yeah, this is like a very core childhood memory movie of mine that somehow I forgot. And when I watched this, it almost like reignited that to me. I really liked it. Please watch it. The next movie that I saw was Peppermint Soda. In the fall of 1963, Anne is becoming a teenager. She lives in Paris with her mother and her older sister. Frédéric, that's the sister's name. They're just back from the summer at the beach with their father. School starts. A turbulent year awaits them both. This is a French coming-of-age story, and you guessed it, they only talk and smoke cigarettes. No, I'm just kidding. They don't smoke cigarettes. This movie is odd. It's quiet. It's got Wes Anderson vibes to it, but it's also like calming in a weird way. So Anne is, I think, just going into high school or maybe middle school, and it's middle school, because she's at that age where everybody's starting to question like, what's going on with my body? What is happening? What is sex? And do I like boys? And my body is changing, and like There's drama. I like boys now and stuff like that. And if you've ever gone through puberty, like everybody who has probably seen this video, you've clearly been in that awkward stages of your life where you wanted to feel like an adult, you wanted to be an adult, you wanted your own independency, but at the same time, you're still a child who doesn't know anything about the world. That's cool. You meet people who change differently than you at different rates at different times, and all right, let me back up a little. There's a scene there's always like this kind of like tension between Anne and Frederic with the mom, and I think it goes with every adult in this movie. There's not a single adult that really takes the kids seriously or pays attention to them seriously, and a prominent scene in this is I think after they've gone through their trip and they're going out shopping for kind of like Sunday stuff, kind of like leisurely wear stuff, and the mom and Frederic, they all go to a mall and they want to try out some dresses, but there's no changing room. So Anne just picks up a dress, goes into this corner of like a dresser. There's like a rack of clothes and another rack and like a loose box to kind of like cower in. And she's like unzipping her dress and kind of like taking off her dress, putting on the new one. All of this is happening while the shop owner, a male, a grown-ass, old-ass male, is like legit staring at her. There's no eye contact. I think even the mom is talking to her, and this dude is focused. Fucking pig, man. Fucking gross-ass pig. The mom notices this and doesn't say anything. That's just one thing that I noticed in this movie. Parents and adults are just dang old dummies, man. This movie was cool. It starts with the father saying goodbye to the girls, and they go have their trip. They start to grow as people, come back, and I think they go back to the beach with the dad. And it's not that nothing happens. It's more of the person themselves change on the inside. A lot of this movie was about friendship and how friends change and how friends just evolve and how just kind of everything changes around you and how friends come and go, but those core memories will always be there. And that actually brings me to the movie I've been dying to talk about. A movie about friendship, loss, reconnecting, childhood, inner children, and this is the movie that I actually saw on my actual birthday. I'm so pleased, and with every amount and ounce of joy and love and happiness that I can have in my heart, I am pleased to announce my true 200th movie in my heart. I'm so excited to talk about this movie. I've been dying to talk about it for months, people. I've been building this for months, and I fucked it up at the very last week. Oh my god. I'm such a dang old dummy. Cut.